Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Disruptive Author. Today, I am talking to Jimmy Sullivan from Chilli Coffee. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, how you going?
I'm good, good. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I'd like to start just by asking you to tell us what you do and how long you've been doing it. What's your story? What's your business story?
What's my business story? Well, my business story is I started off out in the middle of absolutely nowhere with a little tiny coffee machine, and a German tourist came up to me and said, I'd like a cup of coffee, and he bought one from me. And we were in the Devil's Marbles of all places, and it was like, what a great idea. I wonder if I could take this and make this a real thing.
Interesting.
A couple of years forward, we found a supposedly off-grid coffee machine and a little trailer, and we thought this would be a perfect thing. It hadn't quite been perfected yet, so I spent another couple of years working on that to perfect it. And then we were going to go and do exactly that, what we did. We take coffee anywhere we wanted to and sell coffee, which we have done, whether it be Richmond in Queensland or in the middle of Australia, doing coffee. And one of the things about the coffee was we originally got someone roasting coffee beans for us. And one day they changed. One day the beans changed. One day the taste changed. And I said to them, there's something wrong with the beans. What's going on? And he said, oh, well, because he had a little 5-kilo Probat roaster, which is a very nice roaster. And I said, well, what happened? And he said, well, I've decided to sell the roaster, so the beans are coming from clean skins. Well, I hated them. And I mean, that's with a passion. So I did what everyone else does, and I Googled, how do you roast coffee? And I bought my first roaster.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, I looked at it in another way too. Lots of people were doing coffee, but they're selling other people's beans. I wanted to be the one making the coffee and selling it to myself, and then being different to everybody else.
Fantastic.
So we went from one little tiny baby 250-gram roaster to 2 roasters like that. Then I bought one roaster, which was a kilo roaster, which was the only one in Australia. I got it straight out of Taiwan. It hadn't been certified in Australia yet, but I ran that for quite some time, and like 9-10 hours a day roasting coffee, and realised.
And you had the demand for that at that stage.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We were roasting for a couple of different cafes as well as our own product. And then I just said, I've got to get a bigger roaster because it's just not right. We were fortunate enough, right time, right place, like sometimes you are. And I have a 15-kilo machine now, which is a big machine, fairly famous, and a whole lot of bucks for that one. And but you know, we roast for a group called the Lions, and they have a little cafe which we install for them. Every single cent they make goes back to the community. So they get a very special price in their coffee, and everything they make goes back to the community. So it's a win-win for all of us. So
fantastic.
Look, we produced a couple more coffee caravans. One of them has been working for nearly 5 years in Western Queensland, completely off-grid.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The company that we went with, we do the machines, is called Francino. And the owner of the company here in Australia said that it had about 20 people come through wanting to do the same idea we did, but no one had ever done it. And he said, I'm just amazed that you guys did. My background is I'm a plumber, gas fitter, drainer by trade. And then I was the production manager at Forex for a long time, running all the production lines, retired, became an international wine consultant, retired, and now I'm in coffee. So, yeah. Look,
and you use this, I see you travel a lot, so you can pretty much go anywhere.
We can go anywhere. We're completely off-grid. A lot of people will go, oh, look, we don't have power. It doesn't matter to us. We have our power system set I have a coffee truck now. I used to have a little tiny trailer, but now I have a truck. And we can pretty much go anywhere. 3 people can run it easily. We have all the full-size fridges and everything in there. You can sleep in it if you really wanted to. But we can go anywhere. Yeah, do anything.
Okay, and so you can go camping, you can go traveling, you can still run a business.
Well, that's right. We ran our business in truck stops in the Kimberleys.
Wonderful.
So just pull into a truck stop, put a little sign up, coffee here, truckies, and I had a 2-way radio as well in the coffee truck, saying, look, guys, we got coffee if you want one. and they'd come down and go, yeah, I'll have a coffee, because you're in the
Awesome.
middle of nowhere, and it's a perfect opportunity to be able to have coffee for them. And especially being our roast makes a big difference. I have a bigger story than other people about how the coffee, where it comes from, who it is, how we get it. And the roasting's really quite important. I know there's a lot of other coffee people out there selling coffee, but all they're doing is selling someone else's roasted beans. They're not
And
really that.
You've talked about the roasting. What about actually where you do get it from? That's consistent?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So my buyer is based in Australia, based in Queensland, and he visits farms overseas, so previous year ago, to buy the product and buy it from small little farms, and then it gets sent to here in containers, and he'll do that. And sometimes lately, of course, it's on Zoom meetings like we're having now, whereas they can connect straight away with the farmers there and get the right product. So,
so you're supporting smaller farmers as well?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Smaller farmers, and sadly, I'd love to be able to support a farmer in Queensland or Australia, but we're not really in the coffee region. And also, they grow smaller amounts of beans. So when I'm buying 70 kilos of beans at a time, they're lucky to give me 10 kilos of beans, So, and a price point is just not there. It's not the same. So that makes it really difficult when you're trying
You've still got to be in the market, haven't you?
Well, you've got to be in the market.
Unique.
Yeah, you got to be in the market. And, the prices of coffee has gone up, but we haven't put our prices up. So our prices have stayed quite low simply because we are different to everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about that. How would you, someone said, how are you unique? Like the ideal in business is that you differentiate yourself from others, and that's where the win is. So what's your point of difference?
Well, initially we were trying to get our coffee into cafes and things like that. And it's really, really difficult because most of the big players, big coffee houses, they contract people into having their coffee only. They may well give them an espresso machine and a grinder. They have to do 20 kilos or 30 kilos a week in their business. So that made it really, really difficult. And then I came upon accidentally, by providence, whatever, to make Chilli Coffee. And I made 2 different types of Chilli Coffee. In my coffee business, I was able to take that to market and see if people liked it. Now, they did like it. So about a year or so into inventing it, I then rehashed the whole thing. And we have 5 different levels of Chilli Coffee now, from very, very mild to super duper hot. And that's been going on. Yeah. It's this logo right here, Chilli Coffee logo. That's been going on now for a bit over 3 years. And we have won the Mr. Chilli Awards 3 years in a row.
Fantastic. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are always R&Ding things like we have 2, what sets us apart in the world is that we made some chili syrups. So 2 chili syrups, one's a little bit tasty mild and one's a feisty hot. And my idea is if I can get them into cafes and they start using our syrups, then they might go, what else do you have? The way of getting my coffee into some of these cafes. We do have our. So
that's because you're competing with the bigger brands.
Oh, absolutely, competing with the big guys there. But surprisingly enough, I would have thought that someone like Nestle, one of the big players, or Lavazza, would have made this product, but no one's made it. So I am the worldwide. We're trademarked in Australia, and we're trademarked all throughout Europe as well.
That's actually really exciting.
It is really exciting. It's fantastic. And we just launched a brand new product. One of the things I guess that makes our company a little bit different to other companies is we really listen to our customers. So if a customer says to me, oh, can you make me a chocolate powder? I go, no. But you sit there and you think about it enough and they hound you enough and you go, okay, I will. And you make a chocolate powder and it's perfect. So we listen to customers. Now, as much as you're a coffee van or a coffee supplier, you think everyone drinks coffee, but no, it's not true. It's only about 20% of people drink coffee, and it's really quite amazing. No, it's about
serious business, though. I mean, if you're a coffee drinker, you need coffee.
Yeah. I know the non-coffee people will say, "Oh, you do better in winter than summer," and I go, "You don't know coffee people. They don't care what season it is. They just want coffee." Yeah, exactly. But we've been to places where we've been. And how we know this is we've been showcasing a new syrup, say, and we get to meet a lot of people on one day. And it's amazing how many people go, oh, no, I don't drink coffee. Do you drink tea? No, I don't drink tea. What do you drink? Water. That's it. That's about all I drink. And it can be any different ages. It's really very interesting. I would have said before that it was like 80% of people drank coffee.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
No. So one of the good things is that our products are so different in a flooded coffee market that's all the same. So everybody's the same. You can go to Lavazza, you can go to Nestle, you can go to Grinders in Melbourne, you can go to all those different coffee shops, and although the beans and the roasts, the flavours might be a little tiny different, it's still just coffee. And
so they're just going midstream. They're aiming for that midstream.
They're doing two things. They're doing coffee, and obviously the food things they sell in their cafes is where they really make a lot of markup.
Okay.
I think it's about 400% on a cake and something like that. It's a lot of money. That's getting that. And there's other little things in the coffee, in the roasting that makes people buy more than one cup as well. It's the dark arts of the coffee world. I'm not that.
Fascinating.
Yeah, because, a lot of people like dark roast coffee. Now, it smells different. It looks different. And it almost looks even exotic.
Okay.
But dark roasted coffee has no caffeine in it hardly. It's all gone. You've burnt it out. But mid-roast coffee is high caffeine. You'll have one cup and fairly be satisfied. Most cafes absolutely love that dark roast because people have two coffees.
Very interesting. Tricks of the trade.
All the tricks of the trade and all the black arts. Like I'm as much as I'm a barista, I'm not a barista. I'm a coffee man. I roast coffee, serve coffee. Every day on my machine that I work, I have the first coffee. Now, I know a lot of coffee places where people running the machines don't drink coffee. I don't know how that works. No. I don't know how you can make coffee for someone and not drink the product, not know what it is. How do you know if it's off?
Or not know what the experience is.
Absolutely. Yeah,
because that's your customer, and the customer experience is so important. If you don't know what that is, or you can't define that or steer it, you're running blind, aren't you?
Absolutely. Look, one of the greatest things that's happened to us just recently, we went away on holidays over Christmas, and lots of my customers will always come back and tell us where the worst coffee places in our area are, which is pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
One of our guys that comes every morning at 5 o'clock, he's a post-it. He drinks 20 ounces, a big cup, 20 ounces of coffee every day.
Wow.
We said to him, how's your coffee going? And he said, well, I've been drinking Red Bull. And I went, wow, that's a change. Why are you drinking Red Bull? And he said, it's really simple. He said, I went to 3 or 4 coffee houses and none of them were consistent. I couldn't get the same coffee every day. So I just went, damn it, I'll just drink Red Bull. And it's like, wow. And he is so happy to be back with us, and he's drinking that every single day. He's one of our VIP customers. So that's another little thing we do, which is different. But okay.
Well, tell us about that. We got time.
Okay. So many, many years ago, I had a customer who, and it's over 10 years ago, she walked up to my little coffee van and she said, if your coffee's any good, I'll come back tomorrow. And I went, you're a little feisty thing. And she said to me, okay. And she had a cup of coffee. She came back the next day and she said, you know what? Your coffee's damn good. I said, I'm here now. I want you to make me a coffee card. And I told her to get lost. I said, go away. She said, no, you have a... So and I thought about it and I went, okay, I'll make a coffee card. So I made this little coffee card up for her. And I thought, how am I going to do it? And what I did was I made 10 coffees on it, but 9 little holes for the coffee, and the 10th one was free. But you had to prepay for the whole lot. You want my coffee card, you're going to pay for the whole lot, and you get the 10th one free.
Yeah.
She then said to me, okay, that's great. Coffee card's good. Now you can get a little box and I'll keep it here on the coffee tray. And I said, how pushy are you, woman? Oh, my God.
She wants real estate.
Yeah. So it turned out we've got a box full of these VIPs, and one of the big differences between us and everyone else, so people get charged for milks, they get charged FPOS, they get charged for sugars or syrups or whatever it is, different sorts of things. If you're a VIP customer, you pay the one price on the coffee and you get everything thrown in. Doesn't matter what it is. You want 20 shots, you want this shot, whatever it is, you get that because you're a VIP, because you've already prepaid for that whole 10 coffees, and I know you're coming back.
And that's commitment. That's real loyalty when someone's willing to pay 100%. In advance for them.
Yeah. So we helped out a girl in Melbourne. She's named the Wattle Tree, and through Francino, we helped her out to get her Francino up and running. And she said, is there anything else you can tell me about? And I told her about our VIP cards. She does that down in Melbourne right now. She has lots of customers doing that, and just under her logo. It's really simple. She's getting that up front. And look, as I say to people, use an FPOS machine every single day, boom, 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 and you're getting charged every single time you buy a coffee, and you come every day. So why wouldn't you have a card and get rid of all those charges? It just makes sense. On a rising price of coffee, it makes sense. And they're happy. And I mean, once they do it for the first couple of times, they go, oh, it's so easy. I just get out of the car, I walk up, I click, and I make them do all their office work. I don't do it. They get to click the cards. And we have a running joke between all of our customers. Just click anyone's card. It doesn't matter. No one knows.
Nice.
Yeah, no one does it.
That's funny.
And, that is a loyalty thing. And I think it's a good thing for the customers, which no one else does. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So I think we've already heard a few ways. I always ask my guests, how are you disrupting the industry that you're in?
Well, I think that's one of the ways. And the other way that we're disrupting the industry that we're in, we're producing products they don't have. It's really that simple. If you came to me right now and said, look, I want to buy a bag of coffee beans for my husband, I would take your husband's photograph, put it on the front of the bag of beans and say, happy birthday, or whatever the event might be. You could give that to him as a coffee lover, and he'd go, I've got a personalised bag of coffee. Now, that's something no one else does. No one does personalised coffee. We're about to install a little cafe at our Orchid House. Some friends of ours who are in the network we're in, which was the Food and Agricultural Business Network. And we're going to install a little coffee shop for them. And we've tailored it to them. So not this huge cafe type thing, but a small little coffee machine, their own branded beans. And it really is, I do all the training and they can manage it. Now, if it goes over the top of that and gets, so they need a bigger machine, well, we can do that too, but they've got to be a starting point for them.
Absolutely.
So sadly, a lot of big business will say you need this $30,000 machine or a $10,000 grinder and all that sort of thing, and you have to do this, this, and that. You don't. But there's no one out there that gives that information out freely because they want to sell those big machines. Whereas
sounds like it's just giving the truth.
Yeah, absolutely the truth. Yeah, there is so much. I mean, sadly, on Facebook and socials, people will ask for help. And honestly, they get some of the worst help they can ever get. Misinformation. People don't know. They don't know how things work. They don't believe we can do what we can do, but we do. And I've been doing it for now 10 years, and it works. So I'm happy about all the things we do. I don't think it's fair to try and get every cent out of someone, and that's what some companies do. I think there should be more give to people. No, it's not about me anymore. It's not about what I can make. It's about what they can make. So if I can give back to someone and they make a success story, we're both successful. That's the way I look at that. And
what is it? A rising tide floats all boats.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think your credibility in the business area of where you work in your area becomes a better thing.
Totally.
Look, I have I have people at times that drive past and pop in for a cup of coffee, and they say, "Look, I've been driving past you for a while," and I go, "Yeah, what do you call a while? Because I've been here 9 years on this spot." And they go, "Yeah, I suppose it's a while." And they haven't stopped to have a coffee, and then they do, and they go, "I didn't realise it was good. I didn't realise it'd be this good." Yeah. I mean, our coffee truck, the one we've got now, it actually has a museum in it. So I have a museum I have 2 coffee roasters that were being used in the year 1900. And I have a hand grinder that's about the same vintage, 1922.
That's amazing.
And then all our awards are sitting there. So we have all the Mr. Chilli awards. And then last year, we were finalists for Entrepreneur of Moreton Bay. So all those awards there. And there's some little collectibles in there that people can look at and go, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And I go, "Well, that's from Hawaii. That's from right next to the Coliseum. That's from here. That's from there." And so little collectible things and coffee beans, of course. Yeah.
So it's almost like you've gone right through your whole working life to fall into what because you are so passionate about this. It's like you've waited all this time to fall into the thing that you love, and you're just a natural at it.
I love people. My father was a shoemaker, and he worked in Brisbane City for 55 years. And he had one of the things I always remember about him is actually repairing shoes for maybe the husband, but knowing the wife's name and knowing the whole family and knowing all these people. And that sort of, I do say now that good coffee people like are the 1980s hairdressers. You start off by getting a customer who might just buy a coffee from you and go. Next minute, they're there for 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. Then they're telling you about their life story. And some of those are really, really interesting, and some things you want to forget. But,
yes.
but
and you can't unhear. Yes.
No. And not only that, like we have a chap there now who's been a long-term customer of mine, and how we met is a really great story. I was on a ship. It was the last day of the cruise. Decided to sit at a table with whoever might turn up. And two really boring people turned up, and I went, oh, my God. And so we sat at the end of the table. They sat at the other end of the table. So there's a 6-seater. And then two vivacious young girls came and sat in the middle of us. Yeah. One of those girls, her brother has now been my customer for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
We also give back to him because we support their football team, which is called Fat Tradies. So we pay for all their jerseys and everything every year. And we're watching this young man go from just a young working tradesman to about to, in the next couple of months, own his own factory, his own stuff. And you look at that and, they come to you for advice. They come to you and talk to you, and you talk to them about it, your sounding board for them to know things. And we have lots of tradies like that. I think a lot of people would be really surprised at what tradies drink.
Okay.
So you know what sort of coffee a tradie drinks?
What?
I would say about 97% drink caramel lattes.
That's my husband. He's a builder by trade, because he's not on the tools now, but caramel lattes loves. Yep.
One of the, I'm going to say this anyway. It doesn't matter because I am that dinosaur age. One of my tradies is a concrete worker. He's a big burly concrete worker. He's been drinking caramel lattes every single day, right? Yeah. And this one day he had to buy a coffee for a lady. And he said to me, look, I've got to buy a coffee for a lady. What do girls drink? And I looked at him square in the eyes and said, caramel latte. And he went, oh, you got me, didn't you? And so we paid out on him for years.
Nice, very nice.
It is one of the. And now he did change over. He does drink vanilla latte now. But
nice. But that's funny.
That's like he's got a concrete business, and we have a chart up in our coffee truck that has all business cards in it. So someone says to me, do you know
idea.
Or a bricklayer or something like that? We go, yep, sure, here you go. Do you know a lawnmower? Yep, we do. Here you go. Here's a card.
Now, so you're a referral network as well.
Absolutely, 100% referral. Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's brains. That's being smart, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, now look, not all these people come every day to the coffee shop. Some of them might only come twice a week, but they've been doing it for years. It's not something that they just go up. They'll come past and grab a coffee, and we have refined our coffee business in the coffee truck we only work Tuesday to Friday, and I start at 3:40 every morning. So our coffee truck gets down to our spot at 5 o'clock or just a bit before. We're open doors at 5 o'clock, serving coffee till 9:30, and we're done. But then we do other work as well. Sometimes we have a lot of business meetings. We have business meetings with, the police minister. We have business meetings with some other groups, and we'll take that day off to go and do that business meeting because some of those networking things have been really, really good. Mark Ryan, the police minister, he has a monthly catch-up.
Coffee chat, yeah.
Yes, and it is really, really good. You never know who you might meet. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've spoken with Di Farmer, the treasurer. We've spoken with lots of people, lots of people that are very influential that now call me by name, which I think is a positive thing. Yeah,
yeah. 100%. So you've got their ear. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're also social media friends, not just as in ministers, but we're friends in the other part. And some of these people, they do a real lot for our community. So
absolutely, and 24/7 they work.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, we do those meetings. We also do a fair bit with Moreton Bay Regional Council. So there's a group there called Innovate Moreton Bay, and they do a lot of things. They have some really wonderful meetings, generally at Eaton's Hill. They'll bring a speaker in. I think Lisa Wilkinson's is coming very shortly. So it'll be.
Are you going to that one?
Yes, I am. Yeah, we awesome. are. Yeah, we're going because it is a really. it's a really good social network to catch up on. You get to hear from someone that may be one of your heroes or my heroes.
Yeah.
I had my hand put on my shoulder at one of those meetings nearly 2 years ago, and the gentleman said to me, "What do you think about making Chilli Coffee beer?" And I went, "That's a pretty good idea." And then I told him what I did in a past life, and he went, "You know this will work, don't you?" And I went, "Yep." So we partner with them, and I'm tomorrow I'm making another lot of coffee for them. So we made a Chilli Coffee stout beer with them, and it's called Devil Inside, and it's on tap at the Era Bar up at
Era, okay, the new one,
Yep, and it's also going to be at the brand new Brendale brewery called Hip Hop Brewers.
I spoke to Sean from there yesterday. Yes.
Sean, yeah. So Sean was the one who put his hand on my shoulder.
Okay. Yes. Small world.
Yeah, small world. So Adam's the brewer, and Adam from White Brick Brewing originally, and now Hip Hop Brewers. And they're making some wonderful things. So, it's a pretty proud moment to think that one of the products I make goes into another product for someone else to be successful as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so at the moment at the Era Bar, it's one of the top 5 craft beers, if you want to call it that, on their menu.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Thank you. We've got a few other things we're trying to do too. So we're trying to, if we find someone that we think might partner with us, like a gin company, I'd love to see a Chilli Coffee gin. One of the things we do a live cooking show every Friday at 4:00.
I think that's what I've seen, the video.
Yes. Yeah. So what that's all about is, people will say Chilli Coffee, you just drink that. No, there's more to it than that. You've got to think outside the box. You can put that all over a nice piece of meat and slow cook it. You can do lots and lots of different things. I've got a chili chocolate product. It's a powder. So for Australia Day, we made chili chocolate lamingtons for Australia Day. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
You're having fun with this. Like you can just tell you're just having a ball.
Well, we drink champagne with it too, so it's kind of a loosely cooking show. A bit like the 2 fat ladies used to do their show, drinking red wine. We have the champagne.
Yeah.
A bit of fun.
Awesome.
We met a man, and this is listening to customers. We met a man at a market, and he liked our product, and he said, many years ago, I worked for the Chico factory in New South Wales, and one time they put out, what flavour Chico rolls would you like? And he said, chili. And they went, no, can't do chili. Immediately, we went, we're going to make a chili Chico roll. And we did.
Wow.
Retro chili Chico. We injected a Chico roll with our syrup, and we cooked it in the air fryer. It was damn fabulous. And Stuart has also done another one with the spring rolls. Customers that can come up with ideas are great too. So we've got lots of recipes down the track. I think I'm doing a take on a taco for this Friday, which will be done with salami instead of a pastry. So, yeah.
Oh, all right. So it sounds like there's no end in sight for you here. You're just ramping up.
Just ramping up. I think so. And I know one of the things you want to know what's one of the important things in business for me. Initially, when I first started, it was just me alone. I tried to do everything, and that's really difficult. And I didn't realize how difficult it really was. And I manage. But now I've changed everything we do. I have a board, an advisory board, and I have 4 ladies on my advisory board. So
is this official or an unofficial advisory board?
Oh, they're official advisory board. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
And I'll come up with a really good idea, or at least I think it's a good idea, and then they'll go, no.
So they're like a reality check.
Exactly. And I mean, our new product, which is called DeLove, it's a white chocolate cherry chili syrup, which can be used for lots of different things. I wanted to release it about 3 months ago, but they all went, no, you got to wait. And we ended up releasing it with head chef over at Bribey Golf Club, and he made a chili out of DeLove. He made a cheesecake out of it for the dessert menu, and we launched it there on that day. So launching DeLove on Valentine's Day was all kind of perfect. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Some things are worth waiting for. But you would have jumped the gun if it wasn't for your advisory board.
I would have just made the labels, got it out there in the marketplace, which probably wasn't the right thing to do. So the advisory board, we take different roles. So we've got different people. We've got one person that does transport for us. We've got one person that does, financials. We've got one that is our social media and really my 2IC. And she does a whole lot of stuff in the background, making sure. And honestly, I finally understand what politicians go through in the sense that here's your next meeting or this is what you're doing today, because I don't remember. And
you just get told where to go.
Well, kind of, sort of. You go, hang on a minute, Jimmy, you can't go and have this. You've got to go here. So,
So your tip then is don't do it alone and get the right people in the right
Try
jobs.
not to. Yeah. Don't do it alone. Try and talk to other business people and maybe your own area of expertise. Don't tell them exactly what you're doing. Try and pick their brains if you can. Okay. Try and find a group that isn't someone just trying to sell their product to you, but wants to help you. And I think that's what I found with a couple of the groups that we do. And I have been doing business meetings for nearly 10 years. And I've seen a lot of them in time that are just truly all about the other people in the room trying to sell you something. And that's not helping you at all. And I think one of the things that you can do all these groups, one thing you've got to be able to get is, did I get a little gleam, a bit of information? One probably 9 years ago was web pages, the white pages, Facebook is the yellow pages. And if you think of it like that, that's something to be really good about. I do think you need a web page if you're trying to be in business. And if you want a sleep money business, which means you get orders while you're asleep. Our web pages don't come cheap either. So
not good ones.
I kind of have said a few things, but I kind of modeled myself after two companies that I know of. One's Mount Isa Mines and one was Forex. They didn't borrow money, neither of them. They used their own capital to grow their own business. And it might be a slower way of doing it sometimes, but it's yours. So everything that we have,
foundation.
Absolutely. Everything in our coffee business is ours. I own the whole lot. It's all owned by my company. Owns it. We own the whole lot. So we're not paying rent to anyone. We're not paying hire purchase on anything. And yes, it's a slow growth thing. I see people invest hundreds and hundreds of thousands in coffee companies and they go broke.
That's because just frightening, isn't it, to think of?
Yeah. Research in your area and who you're going to sell your product to when there's another 50 companies out there. Lavazza the third largest coffee house in the world. And I think they produce 40 tons of coffee a day. They're really smash out of the park, and they have a little roaster here in Sydney, and the head of the Lavazza, Cristiano, said I could go down and use his little roaster anytime he wanted to. They're really accommodating. They're the guys that are out there doing stuff pretty much like I'm doing, which is inventing new things. So while they're just doing great at what they do in coffee, because coffee's in a lot of things. It's not just coffee as a drink. No. It's in food items, all sorts of things. Drinks, drinks, you name it. Look, I think finding the right information, talking to the right people is one of the hardest things to do. I think there's a lot of people out there who will give you wrong information.
So we just had a little interruption with the internet, as happens. So, and you were just in the middle of telling us about
the cooking show.
Yes, that's cooking show. Just about hiring people and getting the right people and asking the right advice from people, I think was
getting the right advice. Yeah, look, they can come to us anytime for some advice. That's for sure. We're on Pit Road, and the only thing we ask your people watching our show: share this, share who we are and where we are. That's the greatest thing you can do for any small business in your area, is to share their business, not just like their business on socials, but if you share it and make a little comment, usually if you do a comment, so if you're watching our live show on a Friday at 4 o'clock and you comment hello, we can see that and we will say hello to you. That's what our team does. So, sharing the small businesses, there's plenty of big businesses out there and they can look after themselves, but us small business, it's about sharing them. The mums and dads are the people making an honest living around our local areas, If you can do that for us, it's a really good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep supplying for people and helping them out. Totally.
Absolutely.
So you said you're at Pitt Road at Burpee Dairy for those people that are local.
Yep.
Awesome. And you're there Tuesday to Friday?
Tuesday to Friday from just before 5 o'clock in the morning till about 9:30. That's what we do most days. But if someone came at 9:30 and there was a couple of other people come, I stay open. And I just stay open as long as people are there. It's just after 9 years in the one spot, you get to know what that trade is like. And then
Jimmy, I think people should just come and say hello to you.
I think they should.
I think that's an experience all by itself.
Come and check out our museum and see what's on show. And the other great thing is you can come and see my mate. He's an 8.5-year-old Berenice mountain dog Maremma cross that's been doing coffee with me for 9 years nearly.
What's his name?
Paleo.
Paleo. How lovely.
Paleo. Yeah.
Awesome.
A lot of Australians say paleo, but if you say that to a Greek lady, she'll slap your face and say he's not paleo, he's paleo.
Paleo. How
and
lovely.
He's the coffee dog. He loves everyone. And you will see Heather as well. She's in the coffee truck as well. And we do it together, team, and we greet all our customers. Like, yeah, sure. Come along and say hello.
Say hello. Just happen to get a coffee while you're there. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Okay, well, you have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Cheerio for now.